Greetings from Mobility Outlook and welcome to Mobility Outlook Studio at the Auto Expo Component Show. Our guest for today is Mr. Sriram, Managing Director and CEO, Brakes India. Welcome.
Thanks, Murli.
Thanks, Sriram, for joining. You have, I think, a very brilliant target to increase your exports more than the domestic. I think currently it is about 20% of the turnover.
Correct. It'll be just a little bit over 20% will be exports today.
Okay. So what's the roadmap? How are you going to achieve that?
No, thanks. I think we had spoken about this a little bit earlier, and there's quite a few things that will help us achieve this. Number one is India's positioning in the global supply chain today. If you look at where, from a geopolitical standpoint, from a cost effectiveness standpoint, India is today, it's a very attractive market for a global company to source from India. So that definitely we have positive energy from that perspective. From a company perspective, if you look at, there are two aspects we're looking at with respect to international expansion. Number one, product development. We have always been developing products to global standards. Earlier when we started, we were a joint venture company. Today, with the departure of ZF as a JV partner, Brakes India is essentially an Indian promoted company with opportunities to go global in many markets. So that is definitely taking our existing globally certified product portfolio and looking at new markets, which is a tremendous opportunity for us. The second one is actually doing a lot more work to develop those markets from the ground up. So that means having teams in those markets to help work with customers on an active basis, potentially look at some small operations in those over time as the opportunities develop to support the customers there. So that is basically where we see the company focusing to develop the international market, so products as well as market development activities from a sales and engineering, local engineering perspective.
Okay, from the products point of view, what are the adjacent opportunities that you see?
Yeah, so right now, it's such an exciting time. We have so much to do within our core, right? We have so much both in the domestic market as well as in export opportunities that I think our real focus will continue to be in where we are strong today, which is braking systems for passenger cars, UVs, commercial vehicles, and iron castings in the foundry side of things, right? If you look at adjacencies, the big one we have showcased even at Auto Expo today is we have gone from basically wheel end braking in the commercial vehicle space. We have done a full product development on the pneumatic brake system. So all the way from the pedal brake valve to all the valves and the actuators at the wheel end for a 16-ton commercial vehicle, all the way to 49-ton commercial vehicles. So that has been a full product development, and we see a lot of traction. Now, why that's exciting for us is it positions us as a one-stop solution provider in braking, all the way from a half-ton commercial vehicle, you take your ACE, sub-ACE category, all the way to your 49, 55-ton tractor trailer or load-carrying vehicles. So really, we will be one of the very few players that can service the entire market.
So when will you start supplying as a system to the customers?
First customer is getting signed up now. We'll be ready for mass production about 3 months from now.
Wow, congrats. Okay, and then subsequently you will extrapolate to other.
Yeah, so we are, all these being safety critical products, we have done a whole lot of validation and trials until now. So we have quite a lot of confidence. We will take it incrementally. We've already put up a dedicated manufacturing facility for these range of products, and we will do customizations for new vehicle models as and when time goes by. So we'll slowly look at expanding the market share in that segment.
Second point you mentioned is about the market, the market penetration. Which are the markets you see very promising?
You're talking about from a global perspective, or? So from a global perspective, for us, export, Europe has been a very big focus historically, both from our joint venture perspective as well as from our iron castings. We've had a lot of exports to Europe. So, globally we export to over 30 countries. We'll have a significant share going to Europe. Second will be North American region. While new countries get added, even within these two markets, we see a lot more opportunity both for the iron castings as now, because of the split of the JV partner, also for braking products in a much more significant way.
Okay, and about the green castings that you are supplying to Volvo, do you see prospects to expand that particular portfolio?
Yeah, something we will have to do, in fact, right? Not just the opportunity to expand, we will have to do. Now, I'll just explain what we did in the green casting is we worked very closely with our customer Volvo to launch what we call the green casting. And there the implication was huge. We managed to reduce the carbon footprint of the casting by 93%, right? So we went all the way from 100% recycled material. Every process along the way that was oil or kerosene based, we changed to electric induction. 100% of the power for that line is sourced from solar and wind. All the packaging was done in a recyclable way and optimized for shipping. So the last leg is only the transportation. So that's the last leg that we're looking at. Even there, we're looking at options to partner with green shipping lines in those cases with offsets, right? Now, why this is critical for us is many of the players internationally are starting to look at carbon neutrality roadmap to even award business, right? While this was something we did, from an environmental sustainability perspective, it is starting to come into literally customer requests when they place an order. While not every company is at that position, I think that places us quite well to say at least we have a roadmap to start looking at how we get to carbon neutrality or significant carbon reduction in our footprint.
That's interesting. Another aspect the industry is looking at is the disruption. The major disruption is electric mobility. Also, the hydrogen fuel cells, etc. What is how do you plan to cater to these segments?
Sure. So I'll talk about Brakes India specifically. Our product portfolio as wheel end braking and control systems is not impacted significantly by the change to EV, right? We already service in the passenger car market the largest EV platforms that are in place in India today. In the commercial vehicle space, majority of the EV buses that you will see that are going out, or the light commercial vehicles, have Brakes India brakes on them. So it's not a disruption from that perspective for us like it is for the engine manufacturers or component manufacturers there. Where we will look at is over time, the power for the brake boost, typically in an IC engine, comes from vacuum in a passenger car and from a compressor in a commercial vehicle. So over time, the vacuum will go away as you go to EVs. So rather than use a vacuum pump to supplement, what we will do is electric driven boosters. We already have one on display in our stall. It is a prototype concept which we will iterate over time to get into the market as a product. On the commercial vehicle side, many players are looking at replacing the compressor with an e-compressor. So the braking system will still rely on the pneumatics that provides. So we don't see a huge change from that.
Any other opportunities in the electric vehicle per se?
For us, actively, no. We will not be looking very actively to do things very differently from an EV.
Okay. And do you need expand the capacity to cater to all these initiatives?
Definitely. So, as we look at what the market is bearing, the domestic market has grown significantly in the last 2 years post-COVID. In the passenger car UV segment, we've already surpassed 2018-19 peaks in terms of volumes. So we have started adding capex there already. In the commercial vehicle space, there is still some room we have on the capacities to get to the peaks we had earlier. But we also have a whole range of new products we're launching. So capex cycles have started for us, and we expect that given the domestic market growth as well as the export opportunities, we will have a positive capex cycle for the next 2 to 3 years. So we're planning accordingly in that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sriram. Thank you so much, Sriram. Thank you for it.